This is Brian Cantor. This is CCW Nashville, the most iconic customer contact learning event series on the planet. And I'm here right now with two iconic thought leaders, passionate advocates for caring about the customer. We have Jim Iyoob of Etech. We have Kelley Kurtzman of Verizon. How's everything going? I'll start with you, Jim. What's it like being part of CCW Nashville?
Oh man, you know us. We love CCW Nashville. First time here, love the event. It's been awesome. Every year it grows and grows, and I learn more and more.
What about you, Kelley? What's been the big takeaway so far?
Well, I love your passion, first of all. What I really love is just the level of expertise here that you can find out anything that you want to know, whether it's about your employees, your customer, just true experts across the industry.
Yeah, and one of the things, we've had a variety of different sessions, everything from technology to some softer skills, more inspirational stuff, but everything really does hinge on this idea of getting to know your customers, what they're looking for. And Jim, this is something you're really passionate about from a technology standpoint. So what have been some of the recent developments as far as allowing us to not guess what we think our customers like, not anticipate what they might like, but really know not only what they're demanding, but how they feel about our ability to deliver it?
That's a great question. So what we're using a lot of artificial intelligence and human intelligence. And the cool part about it is we're sitting on the largest data set on the planet in your interactions with your customers. And nobody's doing anything with them. So by using a combination of human intelligence and artificial intelligence, you're able to get true voice of customer data that your clients and customers are telling you that they want and need every day.
And that's great, because what I often talk about, I call it the great irony of the customer experience. It's the idea that, again, we so often know that we have to be where our customers are and do what our customers want, but we're missing that link as far as what they're actually looking for. We speak with other business people, we sit in the boardroom and we say, I think they're probably gonna like that, and we don't really know. Kelley, you're obviously passionate about really knowing and really using that to build the experience in the right direction. So, to the extent that you're aware of what Jim's doing, to the extent that you're just passionate about knowing that information about your customers, where do you start? How do you really zero in on those insights that can actually drive real change?
Well, I think you have to take all of the insights and data that Jim was talking about and use that, put the customer at the forefront of what you're doing. Far too often we are trying to solve a business need and not a customer need. So you take all the data that we know about our customers, which was unbelievable. We know how they're consuming our products. We know what their lifetime value is. We know everything about them. And so how do you take that information, feed it into some of the tools you're talking about, Jim, and getting those insights out to our channels? And then you think about this omni-channel experience. We know where our customers have been, where they're going, and we meet them there.
So you have that information and you get it into your tools so you can use it, but how do you make it so that you're actually able to take the action? Because I think when we talk about actionable, we sell ourselves a little too short. We say actionable is, okay, it's useful information. That's not actionable. Actionable is having it in the hands of the right person or the right system at the right time. So what have you been doing to actually make use of the insights you're collecting and really empower the people who need that information to take action?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of systems that we're using. One's homegrown, one we're partnering with right now, that really feeds that information in terms of what is that next best action on behalf of the customer, because we have all that information. So as a representative, what do I need to do next? And it serves up all that information, so I don't have to spend so much time on discovery and asking all those questions. I have the information. It helps me be more efficient for my customer and for my employee. We feel really good about that, so I know what to do. And in fact, hundreds of millions of times last year, we served up a next best action to our rep so they could do it on behalf of our customer.
And the next best action element is really so integral to building the great experience, because you can look at what's happened in the past and you can say, we won't make these mistakes again. We know how to answer this basic question. But from my perspective, and I feel like both of you agree, customers are won and lost. Customer loyalty is built based on what happens when you don't have a tried and true answer. When something maybe unexpected comes about, do you have what it takes to actually solve that problem, actually adapt to that need? And so Jim, when you work with your clients, when you kind of help them with their technology, with their insights, how do you get them in that position where they're not going to know everything that's going to happen? They're not going to know any potential problem that may emerge, but they're always confident that they can make it work, that they know what they should be doing.
That's a great question. So we're using a lot of predictive analytics now, seeing everything that's happening. And when you have a data scientist that spends their day in millions of data points every day, that stuff comes to the top. So we'll know about it in real time, talk to the customer, get out the response for what's happening, and deliver it to the agent's desktop in a screen pop within within minutes.
And that's actionable right there,
Correct.
right? That's because they see what they need to have. Kelley, you have some take on this as well.
Well, yeah, what I was going to say is that our job is to make sure that our reps feel comfortable using that data, not thinking that they're smarter than that data. They can go find it on their own. They've got to trust that data, and they've got to serve it up to that customer. And the more they do that, the more the machine learns what they need to do on behalf of the customer. So I think it's huge. And what we also know is if we're not personalizing these situations with our customers and know where they're wanting to go, that's a minimum expectation these days. What we know is half of those customers will just switch to another brand if we don't know enough about them and really personalize that experience.
And that, I think you hit on something very valuable there, is because you are suddenly giving agents data, tools that they never had before, you also as a leader have to think about transforming your training and your processes to let them make the right use of it. It's no longer, oh, let me look up the basic answer to this time-old question. It's instead, let me think about what I know about the customer, what the customer really wants, and how I can deliver the best reaction in that scenario. So what are you doing from a process standpoint, from a training standpoint, from a performance management standpoint, to let agents know that they have, as they get access to more information, the bar for a great experience is going up as well?
Yeah, so critical to that success is involving those agents right up front. So we have them in pilots of these, but we're also saying, here's what we're trying to solve on behalf of the customer. What advice do you have? What insight? After all, they're the ones that are having those interactions with them all day. So we have them do pilots and help us learn how to preserve this for the rest of our customers. We've coined this phrase, built for reps by reps, so that when they're out there, they can help train each other and they're ahead of the curve.
Now, Jim, you have the luxury of the fact that you're selling a solution that's hot. You know, people talk about this. There's a built-in demand for it. And so people are going to ask you questions like, are you the right provider? But what ultimately do you want to deliver for your clients? Because you don't ultimately want to just be, okay, I knew I was looking for analytics, I knew I was looking for automation, let me talk to Jim. You want to be, I was looking for this outcome, and he helped me get there. So when do you know you've successfully empowered a client? What is that ultimate objective that you want to be a partner with them in achieving?
So I will tell you, the one thing that we talk about our partnerships is all the training and development. I think what's lost in our industry is everybody wants to coach the agent and do all these things. The problem is we have a training gap analysis that goes on, and we're able to tie this information into future trainings so future generations of employees are now getting ahead of the curve to be able to deliver that. The biggest success I can tell you for me is when a customer says we've changed their lives. And by the way, you change lives every day, not just by delivering data. It's about the culture that you work in. It's about the people around you. And at the end of the day, technology is an enabler. The people is what matters in our business. And if we can define and change someone's lives, that's success for us.
So what's your take, Kelley? You know, you're one of these people that he's trying to help serve, trying to help achieve those objectives. Did he nail what matters to you?
Absolutely, 100%. And you think about how the workforce is changing more to millennials. They're used to this technology. They're embracing this technology. And in fact, they expect to be trained in a way that you can use technology. So we've got to partner with people like Etech and others to make sure that we are training our reps to be ready to go for our customers.
What's the next step? You know, obviously, I think connecting with customers, getting agents more engaged, that's very valuable right now. But you've done that. You know, you've made this commitment to anticipating next best action, understanding what's really going on in your experience. Where do you ultimately want to go? Because technology providers, they need to know what that roadmap is in order to continue being valuable partners.
Yeah, so I think about, we know where our customers are today. We need to anticipate where are they going and make sure that we're much more proactive in providing those, whatever those technology needs are, whatever those experiences are, and it's improving the number of use cases that we have. We've got many, many use cases, but how do we make sure that we're really solving those pain points on behalf of the customer so we know where to meet them before they get there?
Exactly. You don't want it to be a case of, wow, I hate this company. You know, you don't want to hear, I hate you for not offering this, and that's your impetus. You want it to be, I trust that you're going to deliver the best experience, and you show them, well, we found a better way to deliver that experience because we're ahead of the curve on the technology.
Absolutely.
What about you, Jim? You know, where you see the evolution? You know, your company has changed, you know, its vision, how you partner with organizations. So what's the next step for you?
So I think the next step for us is to continue down the path of one thing. The one thing that we're going to focus on is people, because guess what? Technology can't be creative. It replicates processes and learns what you've done. The creative minds behind the technology is going to be the future of this next generation.
And technology really determines creativity, though. So the more information you give the agent, the more information you give the customer, the more that they can interact in a meaningful way. They're not just spitting back information, but they're internalizing it, they're analyzing it, and they're thinking about how to make it make sense for the experience, for context, where the customer is, where they're going. That's the role technology should be playing. So Kelley, you're speaking here, you've shared insights with CCW Digital before, but what do you want to learn? You know, you're here also hearing other presentations, interacting with other people. What is your learning objective at CCW?
Well, I know what our path is and what we've done, and so what I've already learned is that there are many different ways to do this. There are many different vendors that are looking at this in a different way, different companies, and so I'm really learning that there's multiple ways you can do this, and how do we learn and pick up little pieces that either are gaps for us, or that we say, gosh, we can take this to the next level if we use whatever that technology might be that they're using.
That's exactly it. It's all about, the great technology's there. You walk in that exhibit hall, there's so many people doing phenomenal things, but the question is, how do you build processes that make the most use of it? The most innovative technology in the world is meaningless if you haven't built an organization around it, and if you don't understand why it matters for your customers, for your agents, for your business. That's the challenge that I want you to go at. Any vendor you talk to, any practitioner you talk to, how have you taken cool technology and made it customer-centric realities? And for you, Jim, that's what you need to be thinking about, is how can you partner with them in achieving their goals for customer centricity, not just wowing them with what you can do, but wowing them with what they're able to do as a result of working with you. And that's what it's all about. That's what CCW is all about. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.